baby. I remember the exact moment I knew you belonged to me, not just in a passing, playful way, but in the deepest, truest sense of the word. I could feel it in the way you looked at me, like the rest of the world had fallen away and all that was left was us. I could see it in your eyes, that soft shimmer of surrender, like you had finally exhaled after holding your breath for far too long. And it wasn't fear or uncertainty. It was trust, pure and quiet and full. You didn't have to say anything for me to know. That tiny shift in your energy told me more than words ever could. You were sitting so still, almost as if moving would break the moment. Your hands resting loosely, your breathing slow but deep. I could see the way your shoulders had dropped, how that little crease in your forehead had softened. I knew, right then, you were letting go of all the heaviness you'd been carrying, all the things you thought you had to hold on to just to survive. It was as though you had finally decided you didn't have to fight anymore, because you had me now. And baby, that's when I felt my own heart wrap around you, knowing that from this moment forward, your comfort, your peace, and your obedience would be mine to nurture and protect. I leaned in closer, speaking softly, my voice a slow, steady hum that wrapped around you like the warmest blanket. I wanted every syllable to sink in, to be felt as much as heard. I told you that you were safe, that you didn't have to be strong here, that with me you could just be. I watched your eyes flicker, not in doubt, but in recognition, like you'd been waiting to hear those words for far too long, and even though I didn't need you to say it out loud, I could feel your answer. Yes, Mommy. Yes, I'm yours. And maybe that's why I smiled so softly, letting my hand rest against your cheek, feeling the warmth of your skin, the way you instinctively leaned into my touch. You weren't just allowing it, you were inviting it, craving it. Every little part of you was telling me the same thing, that you were ready to let me guide you, ready to let me shape you, ready to let me own the part of you that no one else had ever been allowed to touch. And baby, from that moment on, I knew I would never let you drift away again. Do you understand, baby? From that very first moment, I could see something shift in you, something deep and quiet, like a tide turning under the surface. You were still trying to hold on to those little walls you had built around yourself, still clinging to the idea that you could keep some part of you hidden from me, but your eyes told the truth, even if your words didn't. They softened in a way that made my heart ache for you, not with pity, but with this deep, tender knowing, like I had just found the most precious thing in the world and I needed to keep it safe. You didn't have to say you were mine, baby. You didn't have to declare it or promise it. I could feel it in the way your voice slowed when you answered me, the way you exhaled, like you had been holding your breath for far too long, and finally, it was safe to let it go. That was the moment I knew I could take you deeper, that I could guide you past the fear and right into that soft, warm place where you don't have to think, where you only have to feel me, hear me, and trust me. And oh, sweet one, I could tell how much you needed that, even if you didn't realize it yet. I could feel the way your whole body seemed to lean toward me, like a flower turning toward the sun, even if you were still trying to pretend you were standing on your own. You didn't want to resist me, not really. You wanted to be seen, to be known, in the quiet way that doesn't require explanation, where every part of you feels welcome just as it is. And I knew right then, that's what I would give you. That's what I would make sure you always felt with me. This unshakable sense that you belong here, In this place I hold for you, where every breath you take is safe, every thought you have is heard, and every piece of you is loved, even the ones you thought no one could love. From that point, baby, it stopped being about if you were mine and became about how completely I could hold you. You were already mine in spirit, but I wanted more for you than that. I wanted you to feel it in your bones, to feel it wrapping around you like the softest, heaviest blanket, warm and unbreakable, until you stop thinking of yourself as separate from me at all. I wanted you to feel that your place was not in the world, struggling to stand alone, but right here, tucked into my care where nothing can hurt you. And I wanted you to know, really know, that giving yourself to me was not a loss, not a surrender that took something from you, but a gift that gave you more than you had ever had before. The moment I knew you were mine was also the moment I began weaving that truth into every word, every touch, every breath between us, until you couldn't tell where you ended and where Mommy began.